Hello, everybody. It's Becky Longacre with Health Transformers. I'm your nurse gone health coach. And in this live chat, I'm going to be talking about empowerment, what it is, what it's not, what it looks like to be empowered, and what it looks like to not be empowered. So you can sort of like see where you're at based on this information. So I talk to a lot of people about empowerment, and one of the things that I try to really drive home is I am not coming from a place of perfection and judgment. I'm coming from a place very much of I have once upon a time, I was a very disempowered person. And I have chosen to be an empowered person despite a lot of difficulty in my life. So, if you choose to get to know me a little bit more, or if you follow my content, little bits of my personal story will come through. And as time goes on, I am practicing a little bit of vulnerability in terms of divulging a little bit more of my story. But suffice it to say that I have a history of trauma. And I have overcome a lot of things from trauma to having ulcerative colitis, being overweight, having high anxiety all day, every day, and having chronic back pain all day, every day. And the choice that I made was I'm going to function and I'm going to be an empowered person. And I'm going to figure out how to do that. And that's where my business came from. It came from being a nurse, my expertise being a nurse, but also it came from my own personal experience from disempowered to empowered. So empowerment is basically your recognition that you can only control yourself, and you choose to put your time, resources, energy into yourself, which is the thing that you can control. I cannot control my friends, my spouse, my future, what's happened in the past. I can't control my genetics, the fact that I have a history of flaring with ulcerative colitis. I can't control my childhood. I can't control a lot of things that is happening politically, for example. When you focus on the things that you cannot control, that has the consequence of making you feel disempowered or helpless. When you focus only on the things that you can control, which is yourself, it simplifies your time, your energy, your money, your resources. When you invest in yourself and make decisions based on what you can control, which is yourself, you suddenly are holding the ball. You suddenly have all the power in your life, and you become an empowered person. So an empowered person focuses on themselves and what their options are. An empowered person will say something like, I always have a choice. No matter what situation I'm in, I have a choice. A disempowered person would say something like, I never have a choice. You're making me do this. Or I can't, I have no control in my life. Empowered person, I always have a choice. In every single situation, I have a choice. Sometimes it's an unpleasant choice, but the empowered person chooses the lesser of the evils as opposed to choosing the thing that they want. Sometimes they just choose the lesser of the evils. So what comes to mind, for example, is an experience I had where with someone in my group, they were dishonest in how they presented something, and I trusted them for a while, and then I made a choice once I saw that they were inconsistent and incongruent with what they were saying, and it was a lose-win situation for me. That was my opportunity to see I have a choice. I'm no longer going to continue this relationship. I have a choice. So I'm going to back away instead of the victim situation, which is everyone's against me, blah, blah, blah. The empowered person says, I have a choice. This is not constructive. I am going to move on and I'm going to establish better connections that are mutually reciprocal. So my empowerment journey, so I do come from trauma, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't disclosed all about my trauma in one video, and at some point, I'm sure I will disclose some more comprehensive details of the things that happened in my childhood. But suffice it to say that I was raised in a household where you weren't seen for who you were. You couldn't speak up, and diversity was not accepted. It was unilateral way of thinking. It was Christian fundamentalist. So that's my personal experience is Christian fundamentalist, and there was not a lot of tolerance for other ways of thinking. And so there was abuse in my house as well. And so the whole thing with abuse is the abuser believes that the victims are making them do it because they are disempowered. So although they have all this power over somebody, they're not empowered. They feel like they're being made to do the abuse because that's the only way that they know how to handle their life. And then the victims of the abuse, they learn that they don't have a say in anything, and they don't, their voice doesn't matter and things like that. So this had the effect of me, this had the effect of me attracting unhealthy people in my life and unhealthy work situations. So I have a whole other soapbox that I get on in terms of healthcare and how codependent it is and how uneven it is and how messed up a lot of the culture in healthcare is. So you can check that out in my other content. But this whole basis for interacting with other humans sort of set me up to believe that a certain dynamic was acceptable in my professional relationships, in my romantic relationships, in my friendship relationships, in all different types of relationships. And it took me, it took me getting high levels of anxiety, high levels of back pain, flaring with ulcerative colitis, gaining weight, and almost losing my function in order to recognize that I had to change myself. I had to change the way that I made choices and who I chose to surround myself with. So the good news is I did see that opportunity. So someone who chooses to stay in disempowerment is not going to see that opportunity to change, and they're going to they're not going to see how they can make changes in their life to make their life better. I believe very strongly in empowerment. I've been studying it and practicing it for a really long time now, 17 and a half years. And it's meant different levels of things to me. There's empowerment with health, there's empowerment with relationships, there's empowerment with professional growth, there's empowerment with a whole lot of different contexts. So I've been practicing this and studying this for a long time. And once I really, truly started to accept the things that I couldn't change, I mean, accept the things that I couldn't change and change the things that I could, that's when all of the power went from outside myself to inside myself. And that's when I truly became the master of my life. So that's what I help my clients with, is I help them with different levels of empowerment, whether it's health, personal development, like anxiety management, or professional empowerment. That's what I help them with, is I help them really focus on what can you control in this situation. So I couldn't control my genetics with ulcerative colitis, but I could change the way that I treated my body. And that had the consequence of me not flaring with ulcerative colitis for up to 7 years. I have a history of trauma, which led to a history of anxiety. And I can't change that. But what I can change is, how am I going to take care of myself? Who am I going to surround myself with that's going to be more supportive? How, like for anxiety, for example, am I going to give myself buffer time in between meetings and in between things, so that I'm not like going up, going up, going up, going up until the end of the day I'm like freaking out. I'm all ungrounded because I haven't given myself buffer time to sort of just like chill out in between things. Also with anxiety, am I focusing on the future, or am I focusing on, let's tend the garden for today and tomorrow would take care of itself? That's a daily practice that I have to do, by the way. If I lose that daily practice, then I do start thinking into the future. So back pain. So I talked about ulcerative colitis, anxiety, and then back pain. So I couldn't control the fact that I was having back pain all day, every day, but I could start to take care of my body once again. And so I made the choice to leave the bedside nursing role, because my particular experience was that we didn't have enough help to like lift intubated and sedated patients, for example, in the critical care setting. And so because I care about my patients, I often overlifted. I often lifted beyond what my body could handle, because I cared about my patients. I wanted to keep them clean and dry and protect their skin. So for me, I had to leave the bedside. That's one detail of why I left the bedside, because doing procedures half bent over in bed, lifting patients all day long, it's hard on your back after a while. I was also overweight. And so I made the choice to lose almost 40 pounds. So I lost 30 pounds by the time I started coaching clients. I lost 30 pounds because I wanted to be back in like the healthy weight range for my height, weight, because I felt that it was hypocritical to start coaching clients if I myself was overweight. I don't believe in being a hypocrite. I believe in walking the talk, and I hold myself to the same standards that I do for my clients. And so I lost 30 pounds by the time I started coaching clients. And then I lost 10 more pounds-ish, a little bit less than that, of vanity weight. Because, you know, when you see yourself in the videos and whatnot, then you get like, there's a little bit of vanity that goes with it. Let's be honest. So all of these things. And so the whole childhood stuff. So I can't control what happened in my childhood, but there are certain things about my childhood that I am so grateful for, because it has taught me to be the person who I am. So in my case, my father was not a well person. He I believe he had narcissistic personality disorder. And although I don't think he was diagnosed, but so he taught me what not to do. So he didn't teach me mindfully what to do. He taught me what not to do. So in my case, I strongly believe I don't believe in strong arming people. I don't believe in manipulating people. I believe in being transparent. I believe in equality with all my relationships, give and take, give and take. So he taught me what not to do. And so I'm grateful for that. And ulcerative colitis taught me I have to take care of my body or else I'm going to go to the hospital. Anxiety taught me I have to take care of my mental health or my mental health is not going to do well because I'm a human being, not because I'm crazy, but because I'm a human being. So if we can look at mental health more as taking care of our mind, body, soul, rather than just being crazy, I think that would set us up for a lot of problem solving in America. So an empowered person, here's the summary of an empowered person. They're going to be okay with celebrating their wins. They like themselves. I like myself. I am friends with myself. I view myself as one of my best friends, as opposed to I look in the mirror and I don't recognize who this person is, as I used to feel. I used to feel that way. Or I used to not like myself. So an empowered person likes themselves. This is the difference between entitled. Entitled is I win at the expense of you. I win, you lose. Win, lose. Empowered, I win, you win. Let's all win. I want to celebrate you. I want you to celebrate me too. Mutual relationship, reciprocal relationship. An empowered person, truly empowered, wants other people to succeed. So the next time you look up to somebody that you believe is powerful, just ask yourself, is that relationship reciprocal? Are they rooting for you? Are they truly rooting for you? Or are you feeding their ego? If the answer is they are not rooting for you, you are feeding their ego, perhaps it's time to move on. Empowered person wants other empowered people. They want to empower other people. So those are my thoughts for today on empowerment. Disempowered person, I have no control over my life. Everyone else needs to take care of me. I can't figure it out. I won't be able to do it. Disempowered. Empowered person, I will figure it out. I am figuring it out. I'm going to surround myself with people that are figuring it out. I'm going to focus on what I can control and let go of what I cannot control. That's empowered. And lastly, empowered person wants to empower other people. So I am taking on new clients. And so I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to check out one of my links in the description in terms of you can get free information from this YouTube channel to learn more about me and how I help people with empowerment. You can go to my website and you can sign up for a free consultation call with me. You can sign up for self-care and empowerment assignments on my email list as well. I also have a Thinkific shop that has some free stuff and also stuff for purchase. It's all about self-care and empowerment. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.